Okay, so with today's observation, it's quite clear that the rats are very accustomed to the squeaking now. They're accustomed to me coming up with an apple and feeding it to them. They're both like right up front at the cage, ready for me to open that door and squeak the toy so that they can get the apple. For the observations that I've done without the recording the last 4 days, I'm going to read out of my little notebook I've been keeping. So on October 21st, the rats were actually sleeping when I got up here, and I made sure that they didn't wake up, like I didn't make any loud noises or anything. So when I opened the cage and I started squeaking the toy, they both like jumped up, and Woden came running to the front of the cage to get the apple, and Trippy ran to the corner, like to kind of hide until he kind of realized what was happening, and then he came and got the apple. Woden started eating right away. Trippy started jumping around with the apple, but he settled down after a little while, even when I was like not done squeaking the toy. On October 22nd, I changed it around. I usually feed him at night, but I fed him at 8:30 in the morning. And when I opened the cage and I started squeaking the toy, both rats sort of like paused, and then they ran over and got the apples. And that day they actually like began to take turns. What the audience isn't seeing is stuff they do when I'm not recording them and I'm not doing the experiment, and there's a whole dominant thing going on with them where Woden is the dominant rat. So of course every time I feed him, Woden is always the first one to be fed, which might have something to do with Woden being the dominant rat. On October 23rd, I wasn't here. I was in another city, but I had my little sister do it, and from what she said, when she came into the room, they were up on the side of the cage in the front, and when she opened up the cage and started squeaking the toy, they both jumped off the front of the cage, but they're a little wary of coming up to her, so they might be a little bit more used to me since I've been doing it, and my little sister hasn't. And then, of course, today they came up and didn't really do anything that special, but they're definitely getting, used to the squeaking and getting a treat.